Good evening, Sacred Grounds.
Good evening, Mr. Martinjmsf. Ragazzi.
Dan mentioned that next week's feature will focus on Alan Harris, and indeed it will. It will also be the first Sacred Grounds Cafe Studios film to be aired in public. It will be a 20-minute animated film featuring Alan Harris with a couple of contributions by myself, and also co-executive produced by one Dan Brady. So it's going to be quite the night next week, and I invite you all. To kick it off, I've written a poem about Sacred Grounds Cafe. It's called You Have the Right to Remain Silent. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to just sit by and watch it all happen while Donald Trump and an ever so long list of right-minded wingnuts drag what used to be this country back into the days of the Roman Empire. Back to the days when there was no middle class and the few at the top splendored in the riches created by their slaves. They saw no shame in that. No shame at all. You have the right to remain silent. You may, if you wish, scribble down a little poem and read it to a few friends at a local coffee house. You may even walk down Market Street with 20,000 other people and express some disapproval of the way things are. You may clear your throat like a British nobleman or cluck your tongue like a disapproving clergy. You may even cling steadfastly to the idea that any of your actions will have even the slightest effect on the powers that be. Just so long as you remember that it was written into the Constitution, $1, one vote. And then again, one extra free and discretionary dollar, one vote. And then again, one extra free and discretionary $1 million, one vote. Because we just want to keep things simple. You don't have an extra free and discretionary $1 million, do you? Then why am I talking to you? You will always have the right to remain silent. I saw the day when we put 250,000 people in the Capitol Mall. Noble words rang out through the speakers and we all went home. But the war kept going on. A Buddhist monk set fire to himself and the wars kept going on. Phil Oakes committed suicide and the wars kept going on. The machines of loving grace that Donald Trump believes watch over us have now much faster processors. They can consider 1 million actions alternatives before we get our heads around one. My friends long ago hypothesized that if somehow we could just pop off Nixon, maybe that would turn things around. Maybe that would bring our men and women home from all the wars. They did not know about the mushrooms in Michigan. They cover 4 square miles with spores and all are just part of exactly the same mushroom. You pop off Nixon, you pop off Hoover, hell, you even pop off Reagan, Bush, and Trump, and Cheney and Trump, and the Koch brothers and Trump, and Steve Bannon and Trump, and Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan and Trump, and Kellyanne Conway, Sean Spicer, and Bill O'Reilly, and Fox News, and Trump. And you still haven't made a dent. The substructure of stolen money at the top will just generate new spores, the pervasive giant mushroom that strangles our state houses, that has gerrymandered our voting districts into farce, and that knows the coding of the voting machines will teach us how to live in an autocratic society and give us all the full right to remain silent. But I am not a silent man. Instead, I will take my Indian drum and all of you out to a windy beach in San Francisco. We will take Marco harps, too. And we will beat the ancient rhythm and keep time with his harmonica. We will go to that place where the spirit of Steve Mackin resides. We will dance along beside the waves, raise great poets from their graves. We will hear those words we crave written on the shadows of Plato's cave. We will feed sacred grounds coffee to all who spend the starry night with us. It will be the night we all create art. We will hear a poem about Dan Brady's fart. And we'll show the weakness of the clowns who would wield the power over us. And when the dawn is breaking, we will amplify the clouds. We will hold our heads unbowed. We will speak our thoughts aloud where no one is disallowed. Where we will think the thoughts unthinkable with a spirit that's unsinkable. Electric flashes will fill the airwaves. Our ohms will be the broadcast towers with Jimi Hendrix rhymes playing through cathedral chimes. We will reach across the stratosphere and integrate all times. We will discover that we have never ever been alone. Suddenly we see the faces that join in the parade with ideas that never fade. We will know that we have made just another link in one long, unending chain. Yes, we all have the right to remain silent. We have the right to remain silent, but I won't. You have the right to remain silent, but I don't think you will. We all have the right to remain silent, but we never, ever will.
Thank you very much.